Welcome to Q&A Selling Online, with answers to questions about creating an online empire, promoting products, or building a brand. Your host, private label and e-commerce entrepreneur, Quinn Amorm.
Welcome, everyone. Today we have a special guest directly from Huntington Beach, California. We have Jonathan Hawkins, who is the CEO of the #Agent. He was also ranked at one point top 1% of real estate brokers in the whole country. Jonathan is a sought-after keynote speaker, and he's also been featured in publications like Inc., Wall Street Journal, Inman, Forbes, Entrepreneur, Thrive Global. The list keeps on going. Prior to real estate, Jonathan served as a military intelligence officer. I even got a stutter there. Jonathan, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Very good. So you got me stuttering there. What's a military intelligence officer?
Well, there's tons of different fields in intelligence, but an intelligence officer is one who collects data, interprets data, and then, designs specific strategies around that. So there's counterintelligence, there's signal, there's tons of different things, but it's essentially one who extracts information from people.
Oh, man. Wow. So it is actually from people. I assumed it was going to be kind of extract information from technology, computers and stuff, but you actually extract it from people.
Well, there's a multitude. So yeah, there's people, there's a technology, there's human intelligence, there's tons of different things as far as intelligence from the broad sense is concerned. That's what the intelligence field does.
That's so cool. You can use those techniques in sales, of course, right?
Well, that's exactly what I've done, and that's exactly what I do.
Oh, man, that's fantastic. Okay, we'll get into that right away. So tell me all about yourself and what's your background and how you got started.
Yeah, so like you said, I was a real estate broker. Then also prior to that, I was in the military. And the way that I got started doing what I'm doing now is actually right out of high school, I was chosen to go to the Naval Academy, but decided and had a unique opportunity to go through a specialized program in the Army to become an intelligence officer. I did that and was commissioned at the age of 19, which was the youngest officer in the intelligence field in the Army. And I had a unique opportunity to come back home to Southern California because I was sought after to get a degree in Islamic studies and Arabic. And so I did that and came out to UCLA. And while I was there, I was introduced to a phenomenal individual who introduced me into real estate. And that's kind of, how my real estate interests started to peak. And I did a few things not on my own initially. I worked with some of the short sales and foreclosures and bankruptcies, and ended up working at a residential real estate office before opening up my own brokerage. And I got rid of that in December of last year. So then that way, my total and complete focus is on what I'm doing now, which is training, coaching, and speaking. And specifically, it's based on the real estate industry. And it's using, like you said, using intelligence and using some of the things that I've learned and that I've done to kind of shape the marketing messages that people have. And that's what I'm doing now. So I've always been somebody that wants to give back. And in 2011, President Obama gave me the Call to Service Award for volunteerism. And, I got caught up in success and accolades and whatnot as a real estate broker. And for me, it was all about helping others. And I felt like the real estate community had a need, especially as disruptors came into the market to get rid of them. There was a need to have a voice and to really be able to express that voice, not only to combat disruptors, but then also to help leverage their own business and their lives as well.
Man, that's so exciting. And you just skimmed over something there as if it wasn't a big deal, but you got a presidential award from Obama as a call to service. Can you explain kind of what that is?
Yeah, it's called the Presidential Call to Service Award. It's based off of X amount of hours. They have kind of different tiers, and the top one, should you earn it, is the Presidential Award, which is something that, you know, you get an award, you get recognized and whatnot. But I was featured in a few different newspaper publications for it, and even in the newspaper, they said, you know, most people that are doing this much of philanthropic work, volunteerism, whatever it is that you want to call it, they're not after and they're not seeking any acknowledgement or recognition. So it actually came as a surprise when I was awarded the award, and actually an Army general was the one who came to meet me and tell me about it and present the award on behalf of the president. So it was awesome, and like I tell people around me today, is that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, because, you know, I've always been about helping others. And I think after, you know, getting into real estate and doing that thing, it started, you know, drifting me away from what I was passionate about, which is helping others. And, you know, that's what I firmly believe I do now.
Oh, wow. So before we get into the hashtag agent, because I want to know all about that, well, we have proof here that you know what you're doing, because at one point you were the top 1% real estate brokers in the country. So first, can you explain, because there's going to be a ton of people that may not even know, what's the job of a real estate broker?
Career counselor, financial planner, therapist, babysitter, anything that you want to name, it's probably thrown at a real estate broker. Essentially, a real estate broker is there to guide someone buying and selling a house, but through the mix, you're introduced and become part of somebody's family and somebody's journey, and being one of, if not the most significant investment that somebody's going to make in their life. That adds a lot of stress, lots of anxiety. Nothing is the same. It's an eclectic mix, and you have to have really tough skin. And a lot of people, they're not cut out for it, because a real estate broker is not what most people think they are. A real estate broker is not one who doesn't work. They're not one who makes their own schedule and is on vacation, 300 days of the year. They're the ones that are out there working very hard for their clients. They're the ones that are, doing the right things to not only help themselves, but help other people and put their needs first, and set up that family or those people, for success, not only for the now, but also for their future, because it is a huge investment. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. I'm guessing if there was a list of things that you could go in at the bottom and check all of the above, right?
Definitely.
You said it's not easy and there's a bunch of work to do. That means that every phone call you would get at the time did not mean you sold a $6 million house with every phone call, right?
No, not even close, unfortunately. And the most of the calls that you got were actually not from leads reaching out, as much as they were people trying to sell you on a somewhat of a referral, and your phone was constantly ringing from people that were spamming you with other different messages.
So why'd you go from there into training and speaking?
It really was just a natural transition for me. Probably about a year ago, I started connecting and reaching out and trying to grow a real estate agent referral network across the country. And, those agents that I connected with were intrigued by some of the things that I was doing through social media and through just digital marketing in general, which led me to help them and want to help them and want to, put things together. And, I say that I want to help people create a business in life that they love. So when it came from a marketing standpoint, when it came from a social media standpoint, Jonathan is not interested or fascinated on followers and likes as much as he is, helping somebody grow their business and helping them have a better life. Because, at the end of the day, the followers and the likes are not going to follow you to the grave. So I'm not really caught up in that. But really, it just came naturally with, just people reaching out, me asking and answering questions. And then I actually started a podcast, and, from there came a Facebook, group, which is now a private group with over 1,200 people in it. And, that led to, we want more of this. We want more of this. Could you put together a program for us? And at the time I wasn't interested because I had my real estate brokerage, and, I just didn't have the time, unfortunately, because if I had the time to do it all, I would. But, in order to have that business and life that you love, you have to really get clear on what it is that you can do and what you want to do. And for me, and I think that you could probably hear it or at least see it, is that, when I start talking about how I can help somebody or how I can, impact their lives, I start lighting up like a Christmas tree, because I think that it's a unique opportunity that I have that it's not taken advantage of. And it's really a blessing. And I'm truly grateful to do just that, which is to help people. And so this was an avenue for me to connect with more people, to grow with more people, and then have those people, continue to grow and whatnot. So that's why it was just a, seamless transition.
Nice. So there's the Hashtag Agent is a social media training company, and there are, like we all know, there's several social media training companies out there. What sets you apart from the others?
That's a great question. What sets us apart is, first off, we're very clear on who we are for, and therefore, without saying it, people know who we're not for. So we're specific to the real estate industry. And again, we're specific to people that want to grow their business and their life. And, we want to teach all of the different and cool updates and features in ways that you can utilize and leverage social media. But I'm more interested on how it can impact your life. And so that brings mindset into consideration. That brings me discussing and talking about how the brain works, and how you can shape marketing messages. And I think as far as the social media aspect of it, there's phenomenal companies, like you said, that are doing social specific to the real estate industry, not that many. And then even with those, I think that not only are they doing social, but they're doing prospecting and cold calling and all these different things. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's just that's what's different about us, is that we've stayed in our lane of specifically social media training for the real estate industry.
That's perfect. So, for example, when now there's digital marketing agencies coming up every single day, and they're all trained kind of by the same courses. So everyone that starts by targeting the people that have a bigger customer lifetime value, like dentists, chiropractors, and real estate brokers. Meaning that a lot of the marketing agencies are targeting the same traffic that you are, but for a different reason. Does that mean that your lead generation to get people into your Hashtag Agent is higher? You're competing against these marketing agencies?
Not at all. I'm actually a proponent of, if you're outsourcing your ads or you're outsourcing your marketing, I look at that as outsourcing your voice and outsourcing your story. And so I'm a huge proponent on gaining that back and, being able to story tell. And I have any agent or anybody that is with us create 4 pillars, and those 4 pillars are the foundation in which their marketing is built upon. And it's their personal pillar, their brand pillar, the community, and then their industry. So for us, it's real estate. And I think, for a lot of the other companies out there that are competing for agents or competing for clients to run their platforms, I'm saying, hey, you can definitely do that, but also know that, you're outsourcing your voice, you're outsourcing your story. If somebody sees an ad come up from their company about you, they see their branding, they see their picture, they see their colors, they see what they think your message would be like, and nobody's going to know your story better than you. So in today's reality, John Cheplack was on my podcast and he talked about it, with reality TV being so prevalent, and with people wanting to know about people and wanting to know, what they're doing, outside of work and how their family is and whatnot, and they want to kind of fit themselves into that story. It only makes more sense to gain control and learn how to do not everything. I don't expect, nor do I personally believe that I'm an expert or a guru, but there are things that you could do to leverage yourself, to leverage your story. So then that way you're attracting clients that want to work with you, as opposed to, going out there and doing the cold calling and doing this, cold lead generation that quite honestly just takes too long, at least in my eyes, because, that's something that just doesn't excite me. I don't get up each day excited to make 1,000 cold calls. Now, there are phenomenal people that, they're masters at cold calling, and they come to me and they say, we want to be a master at social. And I go, hey, if you're a master at cold calling, just stick with cold calling. Like, if that's working for you and your business is good to go and your life is good to go, like, don't, just throw that away. So really, to answer your question and kind of bring it around, I really don't see us competing with anybody as far as, trying to get new clients, because I think that, and I know that all of our clients are organic clients that have been referred by somebody, or they're in our group, or quite honestly, they've already received so much free information that when they come here and they want to pay for a membership, it's like, look, what I have to do over the course of a year is probably generate you a half of a client to pay for this entire year. So if I have to do that, then I think that I can, and I think that our team can. We don't have any ads out there for you to sign up for any program. You're not going to find us, on a Google Ads campaign talking about us. What you are going to see on Google Ads, and what you are going to see as far as our branding is concerned, is me talking with individuals like yourself, trying to figure ways out that we can help more people. And if I figure out any ways that I can help more people, we create video, we create content based off that, and then we try to spread the word. Hey, if this is what's working, let's spread the word. If this is what can help people, let's spread that word. So that's the words that we spread.
Jonathan, my personal opinion is that you are on the perfect track. I've been there years ago. I was working for a company. We were doing about 90 million per year, and I was in sales. And I always used to say, we need to focus more on existing clients, but that was not our target. Our target was only the cold clients that we had never dealt with before. And I saw one of your videos. You were talking about something that really relates to me. It was, first, take care of the people that already love you and that are commenting on your stuff and then leaving likes on your stuff, because those are the ones that are already love your brand or your company, right?
Yeah.
So if you can focus on those, you're not losing customers, so you don't have to always go after new ones. And a lot of people don't see that, but I'm glad you do. So we focus on what you have first, and then organically, even those bring more to you because they love your brand, your company, your person, right?
Definitely. Yeah, you definitely want to put them first, and you want to over deliver on the value. And you want to, when you're thinking about new ideas for yourself or for your company or whatnot, you want to figure out, how do those affect those that are current with us, that are, that we're currently working with. And we always want to make sure that we put their message and their voice first, and we hear their feedback, and we hear what they want and what they don't want. And we have to shape our message based off of that. And like you said, there's too many people that are focused on lead generation. But if you go back and look at their databases and pull up their CRMs, they probably have a lot of people in them that they just haven't followed up with, or they just haven't made the phone call, or they did, but all they asked for was business. They didn't really care about somebody else's life. They called them on their birthday, not to wish them a happy birthday, but they actually called them to say happy birthday and by the way. And that's just not the way that you're going to create a business in life that you love. You can create a phenomenal business, But those people are not going to be your best friends. They're not going to refer you clients. And quite honestly, you're just going to continue that cycle of where's my next sell coming from? Where's my next sell coming from? And that, rat race type of mentality is just something that I'm just not interested in.
Absolutely. You touched on something. You mentioned CRM there. You know that even if I don't have anything to sell, I have the potential future clients in the CRM where I add notes, right? And things about, I don't know, for example, Jonathan likes his coffee with 2 cream and no sugar. And I put that in there, and it just may be useful someday, even if I have nothing to sell to Jonathan. One day we may meet and I know what coffee to order. That's just, right? So
Black.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what is, if I was a client right now of the hashtag agent, what could I expect? What kind of training am I going to get?
So I do 3 things. I have an academy. That online academy is somewhere where somebody can log in on demand 24/7, 365 days a year. They have training that's housed there, or they can consume it in whichever way they deem best, whether that's written, whether that's visually, or whether that's through audio. And that's how the academy aspect works. As far as what you can expect is you can expect that I don't think that you're an expert and that everything is perfect. And before you go and want to waste money, quite honestly, on ads and more lead generation, let's see what you're currently doing. Let's see what your current pillars are. And if you don't have those, let's go back and let's set things up correctly. So then that kind of leads into the second aspect of what I do, which is actually consulting one-on-one and with teams across the country that hire me either to consult just for maybe their team retreat or maybe something specific to an event, or ongoing weekly consulting. And then the third aspect is me being a speaker at multiple conferences around the country, which I personally enjoy because it's a way for me to not sell anything. It's just a way for me to help more people and connect with more people. And that's why I just love going to events and being invited to speak as a speaker, because I'm there not only to deliver my speech for an hour or so, I'm there to bring value to the audience, no matter the industry. I'm there to help them. And I think that if I can't help them personally, I have a message that can help them. And if that doesn't, then I know of all of these other people like yourself and all the other people that I'm connecting with that are focused on helping elevate the business and life of other people. So those are kind of the 3 things that I do.
So right now, you look like somebody that was almost born to speak and be on stage and be super confident. Were you always like that?
Yes and no. So, just a little bit about my history growing up. I never had a silver spoon. Raised by a single mom. I have 3 other siblings. Nothing was ever handed to me. To be considered or to be accepted into any university would have been that was not on our radar. So as far as speaking and whatnot is concerned, I just really took it as a challenge. When in 9th grade, I was in high school and they were coming up with presidential elections and whatnot for the student body, and everybody already knew who was going to win. That was probably the first challenge that I took really wholeheartedly. That hey, somebody doesn't believe in me, and I need to shape the trajectory of my life. And the way that I'm going to do that is by working hard and proving others wrong. And that's exactly what I did, and I won. And then that kind of led me into different things. I graduated as a valedictorian at the high school. And then as far as speaking is concerned, I never think that I'm a perfect speaker. I know that I'm not a perfect speaker. And for you to say that I'm doing very well is just because that I forced myself to do it. So I forced myself to start a podcast. I forced myself to put myself out there, to start speaking at events. You know, when I first started talking, I would always talk with a sideways mouth, and my wife would always go, "Hey, you were nervous." And I go, "How do you know I was nervous?" She's like, "Your mouth was to the side." And so, you know, now I wouldn't necessarily say that it comes naturally, because it doesn't. I've done it enough times to where I'm not worried about, you know, somebody caring how I look or how I dress, because that's who I am. And if that doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. I'm only looking for people that are looking for me. And at the end of the day, if I'm too focused on others, then you know, I'm not providing value to those that want the message, and I'm not providing value back to my family. So it's been an experience, but it's definitely not something that can happen overnight, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You know, I have two podcasts, and one of them, for the first about, I don't know, 100 episodes, it's coming on 300 now. I super edited all the sound every time I spoke, because I didn't like the way I sounded. I didn't like the way I spoke, and I could still hear an accent. And so after I edited everything, it would hear the podcast, and it sounded like it was RoboCop. So after I heard my own, I'm like, you know what? That's not me. That's RoboCop speaking. So I got to stop this. And I have them pretty much unedited now. The only edit that happens is the sound quality. Nothing that gets changed from, right? If I screw up something, sometimes it's even funny. So just let it go. It's real. Let it go.
Yeah, definitely. No, and like I said, that authenticity is what people like. You know, they don't want to see somebody's podcast and think, you know, man, that guy talks so perfectly, I would never be able to do that. So let's just not watch this podcast, because, you know, they want to relate to you, and they want to see that, hey, you know, this person talks like this, that person wears this, they make mistakes, they laugh, they kind of go off script, and, you know, that's how life is. And so, you know, I don't, you know, any great podcast out there has that natural feeling to it, to where you can, you know, put yourself into their story. You can put yourself into the things that are being spoken about on that podcast. You know, nobody listens to a podcast and sits through the whole thing just to critique it. They listen because the message is resonating with them. The reason it's resonating with them is because of the way people talk and the way people feel. And that goes back into, you know, how the brain works for you, and how you do things because it was in your brain first, then you actually did it. So me listening to different podcasts, I'm ingraining in my brain the things that I want to learn about, the things that I want to do, the people that I want to be connected with. And if I can plant that into the unconscious mind, then I can make that reality. You know, for people think that just a miracle is going to happen without actually being, you know, intentionally seeking things. Could that happen? Yes, but probably the odds are similar to the lottery. And, you know, you have to go out and seek the things that you want, and you have to let the people know and let your audience know what you want. And again, if they don't like that, then it's, you know, that's fine. They have their own path, and it's okay to not be perfect to everyone, and you know, really just speak and communicate and discuss with the people that know, like, and trust you.
Absolutely. You'll never be able to please everyone, so just stop trying right now.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say that, you know, nobody is going to, if they see you doing a podcast, or they see you on Facebook Live or something on their phone, and you look the way you look and you sound the way you sound, nobody is going to tell you when you see them in person, oh my goodness, you look exactly the way, you know, I thought you looked. You know, They would actually think the opposite. If you're perfect on camera, you're perfect on the phone, then you show up and you're actually 20 years older and you don't look like that picture, then it's like, wait a minute, is that the person that I was listening to? Or so people are not going to, you know, be surprised.
How come you sound so smart when there's a microphone, right? There's a microphone, you sound so smart, but now in person, true. Jonathan, what was one of the biggest failures you had?
I think probably the biggest failure that I've overcome is just being able to get myself out of a smaller thought process. So, graduating college was great, but hey, that was probably the biggest goal that I had, probably leading up through my entire life, was go to college and graduate. So, I would have forced myself to think bigger, younger, in order to have broken through and created breakthroughs organically. And I think that, too many people stop themselves from doing what they want, and they talk themselves out of what they want, because they just don't personally believe it's possible.
Yeah.
And so I think that, growing up, I didn't believe anything that I'm doing now is possible. So I think that would be considered somewhat of a failure, but also somewhat of a regret, and also just a mistake. And it's fine. And I think opening up yourself and understanding that, especially in today's world with podcasts and with books and with tons of different things and video and whatnot, you can consume a lot of knowledge from a lot of phenomenal people who have done a lot of phenomenal things. And that doesn't mean that you need to be reading a book every single day. But what it means is you need to, set time aside to grow, and be intentional about where you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and personally believe that it can happen. I speak to a lot of people that will tell me their goals. They'll leave, and I'll turn to the side and tell somebody that's not going to happen for them. And they'll say, why? And I said, when they talk, you can personally believe that they don't feel that it's possible. For some agent to say they want to sell 100 houses, they can sell 100 houses. I know tons of agents that sell 100 houses. Me coming into real estate as a brand new real estate agent, I would have never thought that somebody can actually sell 100 houses. So I think that you just have to be able to and be receptive to larger messages, and know that you're only 4 people away from anybody in the world. So somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So you're not that far away from anybody. How can you get there? What did they do? What mistakes did they make? And learn from that, and stick to your goal and stick to your plan. I like to bounce around all the time, and I find myself as a failure, and trying to fix that is, hey, make the plan and stick to it. It's not going to be perfect, but stick to it, and people will appreciate that. Hey, he said he was going to do this. It might not be at 100% right now, but we firmly believe it's going to be, because Jonathan always does what he says he's going to do.
Yeah. You can hear it sometimes when people tell you the way they say it to you. If they say, Jonathan, one day I'll sell 100 homes, then it doesn't sound too convincing. Now, if they say, Jonathan, by 2020, I'll be selling 100 homes per year, that sounds more convinced that they actually believe it. So it may happen. And
like you said, you just have to break it down. Look, if you want to sell 100 houses, okay, well, how many appointments do you need to have? How many clients are you getting per appointment? How many cold calls or social media posts or ads or whatever it is that you're doing to generate leads? How many of those do you need to convert? And if you work backwards, like you're pointing out, then 100 clients could mean X amount of phone calls, X amount of letters, X amount of follow-ups, which leads to X amount of appointments, X amount of open houses. And it's like, okay, I know that this is the plan, and this is how I'm going to get there. So another failure would be not having a plan when I started, and just going out and doing what I thought would work. And having a plan is definitely something that I didn't do and that I do now. Not only do I have one for the year, but I have one for each quarter, and then I have one for longer milestones in my life. And the reason that you want to do that, again, is because you're ingraining your brain now to attract those opportunities. You're ingraining yourself to hear things differently. You're ingraining yourself to see things differently. And the only way that happens is by having a plan and believing that the plan is going to happen.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Love it, Jonathan. So what is your mission now, and what's your plan?
Oh, well, I have a mission statement, and the mission statement that we use is our mission is to help real estate professionals create a business and life they love by inspiring monumental transformations. And that mission can mean a lot of things, but for me, what it really means is we want to we're not here to make you productive. We're not here to teach you something that can't be taught by somebody else. We're not here to discuss something that nobody else has ever heard of, because we don't believe that there's a secret sauce or pill or something that you can take and have it all happen for you. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But we do believe that we have an opportunity to inspire people to create a plan, inspire people to reach those milestones, to have those breakthroughs. So that's really my mission, is to inspire monumental transformations with people. And I think that if I'm able to do that, and the way that I know that's happening is, some people will say, hey, you only got X amount of likes, or you only have X amount of followers. What they don't see is the direct messages that come in. They don't see the text messages and the emails that come in and say, hey, Jonathan, look, I'm selling 8 houses this month. Last year I sold 6 houses. I never thought that this was possible. And what I ask to somebody that would say that is, great job. How's your life? How's your family? What are you guys doing? Do you guys have vacation plan? Because you don't want to get too caught up in, I sold 6 houses last year and I just did 8 this month. And then you start putting away all the family aspects, all the things that actually helped you get there. So that's what our mission is. As far as our goals, we have specific numbers that we want to hit that I won't dive into, but our main goal is just impacting people's lives and providing the things that they want in an easier way, where we know that we're not giving somebody 80%, so they have to come back to us for the additional 20. We're giving them 100, so they no longer need us, but then they go out and they talk to other people about us because we did things differently, and we actually just show them everything that we do and how everything works. And there's been tons of people that say that that's the wrong business model, but I firmly believe in over delivering and giving 100%. And if that person no longer needs my services, then they're probably in a better place than they were. That's what our goal is.
Wow. It almost sounds like you are giving your customers each a golden egg goose. Here, you take it, take care of it. This is what they eat. That's fantastic. Jonathan, in all your social media, you have a common hashtag. It is hashtag who you hire truly matters. Why is that so important?
So it's my trademark, and I firmly believe that it's important because, and most people actually only look at it from one way. So on their marketing, to put who you hire truly matters, that means one thing to the client, but it also means something from the client looking back at you. And I firmly believe that if you believe that you're the best option, then that person should hire you, because you can do things that other people cannot. So for me, putting that message out should resonate with somebody that, hey, yes, you can hire somebody, but who you hire truly matters. And these are the results that we're going to get for you. And what it also means is that, that slogan and the way that it kind of picked up for me personally was, allowing people to see that there's a lot of things that we do. And there's a lot of things that agents do, and there's a lot of things that entrepreneurs do, and there's a lot of things that everybody does, but it's just not really documented. So we kind of created this campaign of Who You Hire Truly Matters to show all of the different things that we're already doing. So then that way they can create the story of, man, Jonathan is a lot different than everybody else because he does X, Y, Z. And it's not necessarily because we did things differently or the other people didn't do it. We were just the ones that actually showed them what we were doing. And why do most people not want to show what they're doing? Because then they fear that competition is going to do it. That if I tell them how to run the perfect ad, then they can run the perfect ad against me, and that's going to hurt me. So again, it goes back to that 80-20 or 100. And we firmly believe that we're going to give you everything that we got. If we have a question or something that comes in, we're we don't believe our answer is the best, we're going to, firmly just redirect you to the best resource. And I think that's what, if every industry and every person did that, everything would be a lot better in the world today. But unfortunately, it's not. So at least for us, we know that we're doing the right thing and doing right by people.
And you know what? People will feel that you are authentic and you are giving real value. You're not just making stuff up. So these people that are listening and they have this feeling, just like I do about you, Jonathan, and if they want to contact you and reach you, how do they find you?
Yeah, so you can find us on any social channel by looking up Jonathan Hawkins Official. So there's a couple other Jonathan Hawkins out there. So we went with Jonathan Hawkins Official. And so we made our domain easy as well, jonathanhawkinsofficial.com. On there, you can also learn my story. I talked a little bit about the military and a volunteer and whatnot, but you can also truly understand why I'm doing the things that I'm doing and how it can help you on my website, jonathanhawkinsofficial.com.
Perfect. I'll have all of those on the show notes. The only different one is Twitter, where you have Hawkins
X. Yes, because Jonathan Hawkins Official is too long.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Jonathan, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, and we'll stay in touch.
Awesome. Appreciate it. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.